So, our statement, here it is, distance between 5, 4, and AB is D, right? Again, we have this thing that we can interpret, right? And then we have, again, our is D. And we can say, okay, well, what is D? Well, this distance is D, right? So once we interpret the phrase here, then we can say, well, that is D. That means it's equal to D, right? Everybody okay with this?
Mhm.
So, well, we draw our triangle again. And I'm not going to go into all the detail of taking class time to draw it out because I know you know how to draw it. Except maybe I'll label the points. We've got 5, 4, and AB. And then we have the slope here, and we have the rise, and we have the run. And we find, okay, the slope is B minus 4 over A minus 5. Okay? Now at the point where you can clearly see this in your head with all the labeling, maybe you don't have to write it out anymore, but if you screw it up without writing it out, I'm not going to be sympathetic when I grade it. Okay? So make sure before you stop drawing this picture and labeling it, that you've done it at least a couple of dozen times in similar context so that I can trust you to do that right. Okay, then, so slope is D, so you get B minus 4 over A minus 5 equals D. And the only difference between this and this is now you got a couple of numbers instead of letters, right?
Mhm.
You're looking like I did something crazy.
Were we
Entirely
finding
possible.
the slope or the distance?
Again?
Is the slope the
Oh, whoa, whoa,
distance?
whoa, whoa. It says distance, not slope,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm, yeah.
Maybe I ought to read my own problem. Okay? So, well, okay, this is great. If that's what the question asked, that would be exactly the way you'd want to answer it, right?
Mhm.
But that's not what the question asked. I'm up on this. And, okay, so the distance, well, we'd better draw the triangle then. So here we've got B minus 4, here we've got A minus 5. Our points are 5, 4, and AB. So your distance is the square root of B minus 4 squared plus A minus 5 squared. As usual, I didn't leave myself enough room, but we know what to write down there. Okay? So, distance is D.
So basically, the distance is the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, we got the distance from the Pythagorean theorem because that's part of what we always label. And that is the length of this segment, and that is the distance between the 2 points, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, we want to emphasize that, so that's very good. Okay, so distance is D, so the length of the hypotenuse is that, right? So we'll say length of the hypotenuse is the distance, so there's the statement, right? Okay. Now, one more thing we do with the statement, I'll use a different color because this is a little beyond the problem. It's a simple step, and we might as well look at it now. Well, if we square both sides of this, if you square the square root, you just get whatever's in the square root. And if you square D, of course, you get D squared, right? So if you square both sides, you have this, right? Okay? Which, of course, you can use the distributive law on. You can square this, you get b squared minus 8b plus 16 plus a squared minus 10a plus 25 equals d squared, although I want you to use the distributive law until further notice. Okay? In other words, I just, b minus 4 times b minus 4 is going to give me this. We know how to do this. Okay? A minus 5 times a minus 5 is this. We know how to do this. So we get this, and then of course we can add the 16 to 25, we get 41, but we get this whole equation. And that's going to be something we look at somewhat later in the course. Okay? So just saying, once we get down to here, it's pretty easy to do this and this. Okay? Not part of the question, not something you're going to have to do on the major quiz. Okay?